What's that? What's that? Yes, we are back, baby. Northern Steel, back for episode. Nobody even knows at this point. Do you, Chris? I don't, and I'm stalling because I don't remember.
It's episode 11.
11. Oh, good pun because Stranger Things came out. 11. Are you guys watching?
Yeah, I was literally just about to say the same thing. I'm so glad we're on that same wavelength. Right?
Ooh, Stranger Things? But this ain't about Stranger Things, baby. This is about the Steelers. And we're back after a week hiatus where Christopher was on his honeymoon and he got married, baby. Look at that ring. Look at that. He's iced out. Iced out with commitment. Iced out with no more making his own choices. Talk about
that was gone years ago.
Yeah, I feel that. Welcome back, man. Y'all rested? You feel good?
Oh, I feel excellent. It was nice getting a break from everything. The wedding was fantastic, as you are probably aware.
I was
since
there.
You were there. Yep.
I sure was.
And the honeymoon was amazing. It was definitely a nice relaxation from everything, and it feels so good to kind of move on to being in a more constant stage of life. So yeah.
And and luckily, while you were gone, nothing happened, except a lot of things happened. So we got some catching up to do, and we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff right now. Woo! Today is, for us recording, it is Wednesday, my dudes, June 1st, and breaking news coming out today, we might as well talk about it right away, is Stephon Tuitt retired from the Steelers. Played for 7 years, and honestly, it's something that a lot of players were saying, we think Tuitt's going to come back. He's working out. And I know a lot of people had mentioned that they were hoping he's going to come back. I don't know about you, Chris, but I always felt like this was almost inevitable. I always felt like I was never confident that we were going to get Tuitt back. I was hopeful, but I wasn't confident.
No, I totally agree with you. And aside from that, you didn't really know what you wanted because it would be so cool to have Stephon Tuitt back because he brought such a presence to our defense and everything, and he was so good. I mean, having the combination of him and Cam on the line, oh gosh, it was awesome to watch and witness. But
he was a beast. I don't mean to cut you off, but he was a beast. He had 34 and a half sacks for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
In 7 years, he didn't, which counts last year, which he did not play at all, and he had many years where he missed huge stretches of games with injury. So 34 sacks in 7 years, you might think is not that good, but he missed so many games. His production was really good.
And I totally lost my train of thought of what I was going to say. Good. It definitely shows that I've been gone from this whole thing for a while.
I'm sorry.
No, what I was going to say is another thing when you talk about basically seeing what was written on the wall is we also didn't know if Tuitt were to come back, what kind of player we were going to get. Because obviously the idea is that he's going to be working out and getting back into shape and maybe he is something to prove because so many people. But if I'm in a way, I'm happy. I'm really happy for him. I really am. To be able to give up something probably that he loved so much, like the sport of football, and to go and I believe he also graduated at Notre Dame, which is huge. But
yep, he did.
It seems like he really took care of himself mentally, and surrounded himself with family, and just tried to better himself in other ways. So I'm really happy for him.
Yeah, the thing is what you guys have to understand, for you listening at home, is this was a tough decision for Stephon Tuitt to make. And it makes me a little mad when I go online and I see people bashing him immediately or trying to just care about what maybe this has negatively affected the Steelers, which they'll figure that out later. Don't worry about that right now. The thing is Stephon went through a tragic loss last year of losing his brother in a very horrific way. And he also had a big-time injury. After spending time in college, he decided to retire now on June 1st, which is post salary time, so he gets some money and and someone gets split off. I know a lot of people are trying to use that as to that's why he decided to retire, or he should have retired last year because he took a full paycheck for not playing a year. I don't care for that opinion. I really don't. I think leaving the game of football is a very tough decision. I think he truly needed all that time to process his brother's death and to figure out if he wanted to keep playing while he's recovering from an injury. And it's not a decision you can just make super easily. I think he spent a lot of time thinking about if he wanted to play. He chose not to play, and like you said, miss you on the field, but happy for you, and hope you find your peace you're looking for. Yeah. And good luck to you in the future, man. It's crazy that 2014 had, like, you know, barring a tragic injury and, you know, some obviously tragic life events, our first two picks in 2014 were Ryan Shazier and Stephon Tuitt, and how such insane picks they were, but obviously careers shortened a little bit for different reasons, of course. Not to compare and contrast; those are completely two different things. But just interesting to think about those two players being the same draft class and where we are now. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, relating back to that 2014, because I was curious. I wanted to look it up, and kind of looking at our full results of the draft, I feel like it was very much a draft of what could have been, right? Because Shazier was making a name for himself, going to be a top linebacker in the league. Stephon Tuitt, obviously, both their careers got cut short due to really tragic reasons. And then looking at the other names, there's good players on here, or people that we thought were going to be good. Like Dree Archer was in the third round. We thought he was going to be something that never panned out. But in the fourth round, we got Martavius Bryant also in that draft.
Damn.
You know, yeah. So like you look at that, and I mean Shazier, Tuitt, Bryant, those are all good picks. And I mean we even got Daniel McCullers in the sixth round. And I mean, that really
is a what could have been class.
Yeah,
really
seriously. It really is.
Yeah. So going along with the lines of me being kind of annoyed with some of Yinzer's opinions on things, we're at the rant hour, baby, and it's time to rant. And there's a lot of things to rant about this week because it's the off season. I get it. You are a passionate Steeler fan, and you see a headline and you immediately jump onto Twitter and throw out an opinion because you're so mad or angry without understanding the facts or understanding the entire situation. Because that's what Yins do. I get it. Not all Yins, but you know who you are. So first I want to rant about Deontay Johnson. Please hop off this man's nuts. Sorry, Mom, for listening to that. But please hop off this dude. Like, I understand. Like, so many people are upset with Deontay Johnson before he ended up showing to OTAs, which now they've been silent. But when he wasn't showing up to OTAs, they're taking every tweet he would say, being like, "Oh, he's causing drama. He's writing cryptic tweets. Deontay Johnson's gotta go, man." Well, there's a report that Deontay Johnson is unhappy with his contract. How could he be unhappy? He's not even good. Okay, well, he's been leading the team in receiving and receptions. Well, he doesn't deserve $18 to $20 million a year. Well, Christian Kirk is getting that much money, and a lot of other receivers are getting that much money. That's the market now. That is the NFL. And now, I'll also say this to play devil's advocate. Do I think Deontay Johnson deserves that kind of money? I do. I do think he deserves it. If he does not get it, I will not lose sleep over it. I really won't. I like Deontay Johnson, but if he does not get the contract with the Steelers, if the Steelers, and remember, the Steelers, not you at home, the Steelers, if they decide not to pay Deontay Johnson a second wide receiver contract, which they rarely do, that is their choice to make, and I'm honestly not going to be that heartbroken about it. We just move on. Now, I'm going to throw a name out here, scenario, and you can comment on it. I'd love some comments, some reactions. If he left, you could replace him next year with Jordan Addison, especially with Kenny Pickett being our guy. And you could say, well, Jordan Addison is going to be a top 10 pick. You don't know that. He's going to USC also. Maybe we're a top 10 pick kind of team. You don't know that. So I'm not gonna like be heartbroken if we end up losing Deontay next year. But fans are obsessing over whether they should pay him $18 to $20 million a year or not. He deserves it, but that's not your choice to make. Who cares? Let it go. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I want to rant about, people getting so upset about, is recently is reported that Najee Harris weighs 244 pounds. And now there's all these people coming out in the comments, oh man, now he's slower, and he's Eddie Lacy, and he's fat. And oh, and I guess he weighed 232 pounds as his rookie year, so he's gained 12 pounds. That is false. He weighed 240 pounds last year. He's gained 4 pounds, okay? And if you've watched any OTA tape on this man at all, he's in a league of his own, dude. He looks crazy athletic. He does not look fat. He does not look slow. He looks like he's going to kill you with the way he runs the ball. He looks like a freight train. So just pump the brakes. I know it's off season. I know you want to be mad. I know Steeler fans, that you all hated the drama of Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, and you crave it. Even though you say you don't want drama, I know you crave it. You psychopaths. Just let it be what it is. It's not that dramatic right now. It's okay.
Media. That's basically what it is, right? They're always trying to find a story as to what's going on, and it definitely came to surface level after the whole Antonio Brown stuff kind of came up. And I want to touch back on a couple of things that you said, but like they're always looking for a story. They're always looking to take context out of what people have said, and it's ridiculous. I mean, going with the Najee thing, yeah, the dude is what, 244. Everyone is so upset about that and so worried and everything, but like, are we just going to ignore the fact that Derrick Henry is an inch taller and like still 5 pounds heavier than this dude is? Like, no one's going to say anything. And like you said,
Right.
Watching that tape, don't just go off of like information of what people are saying online. Like, do a little bit of research, watch some videos and things like that. This dude looks more explosive, which I thought is incredible, than last season, just doing some of these drills. Granted, yes, we're in shorts right now. We're
Right,
shorts,
right.
helmets. You can make the excuses there, but like, this dude did not look like Eddie Lacy. He did not look like a loaf of bread. All right, this dude is cut. He honestly probably gained a lot of that like weight all in his thighs because he's got tree trunk like Saquon Barkley thighs going on right now.
Dude, they're bigger
I'm
than
not
my
worried.
torso. His quads are bigger than my torso.
Seriously, and let's be real. Everyone has seen that ass, right? Like, Najee's always packing. He's got a dump truck. So, like, I ain't worried. You need those glutes, baby. You need those glutes to hurdle. You need them to juke. You need them for so many different things. I'm more excited hearing about his weight gain than I am worried about it. I think he's going to wreak havoc this year. It's going to be awesome. And then going off of the Deontay stuff, I've even been watching a lot of press conferences. They interviewed Claypool, and he even said it himself. He goes, you guys are always trying to make something out of it. Like, Deontay is not here, but we know he's working hard. He's doing his stuff. He's working on his craft. He's probably working harder realistically right now than we are being at OTAs this first week. And I'm sorry, but also, I don't know about you, Dom. Was Deontay Johnson at OTAs last year?
No, he was not.
Oh, weird. He wasn't. So, I mean, just before you freak out, before you just take the first source you see and kind of ride with it, just do a little bit of research, look it up a little bit, and just kind of become a little bit more level-headed. It can be fun and to be drawn into that drama. I get it, but just we're trying to be a drama-free team as much as we can.
But and you and the fans and other media pages are causing the drama. It is not the team. It is other fans trying to poke the bear and insinuate drama. And also, this isn't like that big of a deal, but I also got to point out some of these Steeler media pages, you know who you are just not understanding these jokes that these younger players are posting. George Pickens had an Instagram post that said, "Hi, I'm Paul," and 3 different Steelers Twitter pages were like, What does he mean? Paul Pickens? It's from Jimmy Neutron, you uncultured swine. Come on. Watch Nickelodeon, please. Oh, I'm too old. Then don't comment on it. Understand the thing. Also, who posted? Oh, it's Devin Bush. Devin Bush, because his Twitter went wild last year, and he posted a big giant acronym, which I was not smart enough to decipher, but I also didn't really care to do so. But then so many people, other Steeler Twitter pages, commenting, saying like, "What is Devin Bush doing? He's just keyboard mashing. He's losing his mind." It's obviously an acronym. That's a thing. That's a social media thing. That's a thing that people do. So get over it and maybe learn a little bit. Educate yourself. It's just okay. That was a little too mean. All I'm trying to say is like just relax. Like I understand memes, I understand jokes, I understand the culture. Okay, moving on. Rant done. Boom. It's over. Speaking of players being go.
Nothing. You're good. I was just going to say this is a loving place. We appreciate all of you.
This is a loving place, Northern Steel, baby. If you want to listen to some positive Steeler info, but reasonable, but logical, this is the place to be. Because we always support our boys in the black and gold, but when they will be messing up, we will be calling it out. But right now, no one's messing up. It's all good. Relax. Enjoy the offseason. Speaking of offseason, and we talked a little bit about it, OTAs have started. Started last week. They're still going on right now. It's football in shorts, like Chris had mentioned with his tree trunk size quads and hamstrings. Najee Harris is being talked about a lot. I would recommend looking at some videos of him doing running back drills. Yes, it's football in shorts. Yes, he scares me. But turns me on. I don't know. That dump truck got me doing something crazy. Speaking of, happy Pride Month. What? Okay. Also these are just some players I've heard that are doing good at OTAs. Obvious players. TJ Watt, killing it, looking strong like he always does. Cam Hayward's doing really well, not in the sense of playing, but being a leader. With Stephon being gone, we have a lot of young defensive linemen on the team, and he's doing a really good job at taking them under his wing, trying to get them up to speed. Because if the Steelers don't sign another defensive lineman, I think they will. You know, there's players out there like Eddie Goldman, who plays mostly defensive tackle, but you never know. Larry Ogunjobi, you know. There's players out there that the Steelers could sign, or even older players like Ndamukong Suh. But you could be looking at a heavy rotation of Isaiah Loudermilk, who played pretty decent last year as a rookie, and DeMarvin Leal. So Cam's trying to get them up to speed, baby, and I see that he's doing a good job at it. George Pickens is doing good at training camp, like we all know he was going to do. I'm excited to watch him in preseason. Calvin Austin's doing some things, and Brian Flores is really getting people fired up. The defense seems more motivated. They seem more like a unit. They're pumped to play for Brian Flores. People are excited for the tandem of Bush and Jack under Brian Flores. I think there's a lot of exciting things to go there. Yep, and you know, besides, and hopefully they prove me wrong, besides cornerback, I think our defense does look pretty strong. I guess defensive line now too is maybe something to look at, but hard to know how players are going to play until we see them on the field. Then we can judge them later with some of these new things. But those are some of the exciting things from OTAs so far.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't have much to add to that. I mean, you basically nailed it on the head. It's exciting to watch and see everything that's going on with all the news. It's cool to see the veterans take that leadership role and to help the rookies out. You know, and everyone. It seems like we're trying to create a winning culture, and that starts right now. You know, people really don't think OTAs are that big of a deal just because it is football in shorts, but like this is when you get to know your guys. This is when you get to help everyone develop their craft. This is the time to build that chemistry and kind of create that winning attitude and demeanor. So I'm really excited for it. I mean, like I said, I'm maybe a little overexcited. I keep seeing videos, especially now that Deontay's there, of Mr. Pickett throwing these right on the money, like slants and passes and everything. And I'm like, wow, that was like right where it should be. And it had velocity to it. It was like kind of refreshing to see.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
no, yeah, I'm excited for like training camp videos too, because those get even more intense with like 7-on-7s and backer drills. Like those are going to be really intense to watch. Those will be fun. Right now, another thing that everyone needs to calm down about right now, because it is super early, is the quarterback depth chart of Mitch being 1, Mason being 2, Kenny being 3. That is okay right now. Don't freak out yet. Don't think that Kenny's a bust and he's going to stay at 3. Don't think that Mason is playing too much. They're playing the positions. I mean, Mason's been here for 4 years or 5 years.
2017, I believe. So
this will be his 5th year, right?
I think so.
I want to double check that. Why don't you double check that real quick? But
all right.
But Mason's been here for a while. He started some games. He obviously knows the playbook. There's a reason why they have him playing second string right now under Mitch, is because he knows what he's doing. Just gotta trust the process. We'll figure it out. With OTAs, go ahead.
2018 draft.
Okay, so this is his 4th year.
Yeah,
that makes more sense. I was like, I don't know why I would give him another contract. No offense.
Yeah, right.
So the Steelers potentially looking for some D-line depth, but it sounds like they're continually looking at edge depth, and they did a classic Steeler move today. They signed Tuzar Skipper. Welcome back, baby.
Good to have you.
Not really much to say about that. I mean, if you guys know who Tuzar Skipper is, he used to be on the team a couple years ago, showed out in the preseason, didn't stay on the team, went to the Giants like most of our pass rushers do, and has been floating around from team to team. I believe maybe he was on Tennessee most recently, and now he's back. So there's that. I still think there's still more moves they could make. They could still get another running back, in my opinion, although I just saw a video today of Anthony McFarland doing well, which would be nice to see since he's been MIA for the past 2 years. But there are some running. I mean, Jerick McKinnon from the Chiefs is still out there. If you guys love bringing old Steelers back, Jalen Samuels got released, so there's always that.
I saw that.
But I don't really think that's anything better than Benny Snell, to be honest. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now with OTAs. So we're just kind of waiting for those to finish out. I think there's going to be another long break again of kind of nothing going on. And then we'll get some training camp, which would be the sweet videos. And then preseason, baby. Sweet preseason.
I can smell it. It is so close. I just need it.
I know. I need it too. And I don't want to wish away summer. We live in Minnesota. It's going to be cold as soon as like September 15th hits. But I needed the preseason here. Finally, last week, we got some front office changes, baby. New GM announced Omar Khan. Congrats, man. Congrats to Omar. Congrats to Kevin Colbert for his retirement. And Omar, welcome to the GM slot. Omar has been known as the cap guy for us, doing all the contract numbers and the cap for us. And now he is our GM. And I'm excited to see what maybe that brings to the table. You know, I again, because when the things are official as Steelers, I'm always 100% they got my support until they don't deserve it anymore. I can't say I wasn't a little, not disappointed, but I kind of really like the idea of Louis Riddick as a GM.
I feel you. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, just an outside thing. But again, congrats to Omar. He's now the GM, and we'll see what he can do from there. Chris, what do you think about that move specifically?
First and foremost, exactly like you said, huge shout out to Kevin Colbert on the amazing career that he had with the Steelers. The things that he did, and getting those 2 rings, and all the players that he drafted, and had the select number of Hall of Famers that he's going to have under his belt. What a career that he had, and
Yep.
I'm excited. I feel you. There's that little bit of dream that I wish Louis Riddick was going to be a top candidate, but come to our surprise, the Steelers hired within their system, which never happens, or it always happens. But right, Omar Khan has been with us for, oh gosh, a long time now. But I was watching a little bit of his press conference, and he said it himself, because they're like, "Yeah, are you feeling pressure with Colbert being gone or whatever?" And he's like, "I don't know about pressure, but like I'm not here to replace Colbert. I'm not here to be the next Kevin Colbert, because what he did is what he did, and it's nothing short of amazing. But I'm here to kind of build my own part." And he's like, "I'm very excited about the players that we have on this team." He's like, "I think we can build a winning culture," and is a lot of positivity. And it already sounds like, they talked about his relationship with the Rooneys and Tomlin and the players, and he's like, it's a family here. I get along so well with everyone, so I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to what maybe different things he can bring to our team. Maybe he'll be a little bit more aggressive in free agency. Who knows? I don't know what's to happen, but I welcome him with open arms to this position, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. I think the thing, I know he's the cap guy, so I don't know about like what next offseason will bring, but next offseason will be his first real chance of like for free agents and for the draft, right? Now, him being the cap guy, hopefully this can help us out with Minka's contract and with some other contracts we'll have coming up. But I want to see how he kind of does in those situations. Kevin Colbert, for as good as he was, traded. He didn't like to trade in the draft. He traded up maybe a couple times, hardly ever traded back in the draft. And I think some other GMs use that tactic really, really well. Mm. And I know you and I, now that time has passed, we're really happy to have Kenny Pickett. And I'm excited to see him play. We're excited to see what he can do. But before the draft started, you and I discussed a lot how it might have been very beneficial to move back in the draft and get some more draft picks, since there are so many glaring needs. And what's done is done. That's fine. I'm happy with what we got. But I would like to see maybe a GM try to do that some more, and maybe, I know it's not the Steeler way potentially to do it, but maybe with a new face, it could happen.
And it's funny that you say the Steeler way, right? Because it's like it's been the same way as long as we've been watching, but it's like we said before in previous podcasts. It's a new era. It's things are fresh. Things are beginning. Like this is where we could see the most change to how our franchise goes about things, right? I think we'll always try to maintain that class and everything, but it's exciting. It's a brand new era. I'm looking forward to it.
Along with Omar Khan being GM, we also hired Andy Weidel, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, as assistant general manager from the Philadelphia Eagles. We promoted Sheldon White as director of pro scouting, or we hired Sheldon White for the director of pro scouting, and we promoted Dan Colbert to the director of college scouting, in relation to Kevin. So some new faces in the front office. So top to bottom, Steelers are going in a completely new era. The only face that's constant right now is Mike T, baby. And doing good so far, but we're hoping to maybe stack some wins here and there. Don't know about next year, but we'll see. We'll see. That's pretty much what we missed. I'm surprised. We usually end up rambling and talking for a really long time, but we kind of spread through that. So you know what I'm going to do to just extend this out a little bit more? I think this might be really fun, and I have a way to make this longer. I think it's good we do this now. We can ask people actually live on this podcast later down the road. But I know with Chris being gone, he didn't post any questions of the day, but he posted one today. And I think it's a really fun question. We can talk about it for a little bit. Chris posted today on the Northern Steel podcast. If you don't, please follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and OnlyFans. And he posted... what'd you post today? Hello? Where is it? There it is. Since you've been able to watch the Steelers, what is your favorite memory or favorite Steeler moment? Not a lot of reactions, obviously, but one person did quote tweet it and said that their favorite moment was their first Super Bowl that they watched as a Steeler fan. It was Super Bowl 43. Great moment for sure. A lot of great moments being fans since you and I have been watching since pretty much Big Ben's rookie year.
Yeah.
Do you want to think of any moments, or do you want me to go first? And you want to think of something?
I mean, I can think of a couple, kind of coming off the top of my head. And we'll talk. We'll probably go back and forth a little bit on a few of them. I don't want to overdo this, but one of my favorite memories of watching the Steelers was the very first game that we actually attended.
I knew you were going to say this first. I had a whole thing about it. Okay, go ahead.
Did you? I don't have to do it. It's not a big deal. No,
it's okay. No, it's okay. Let me paint the scene for you. Okay, Chris,
you do it.
Me and Chris can jump in each other's sense. Let me paint the scene. Okay, two boys wanting to buy tickets for the first Steeler game they'd ever see live. We saved up our money. Me and my girlfriend, now wife, girlfriend at the time, we all saved our money together, and we thought, let's go see a Pittsburgh Steelers game live, baby. My dad's been a fan his whole life. He made us a fan, and we scrounged together, and we were picking our games, and this is during the 2015 season. And there was a game that we had picked originally, and it was the Steelers versus the Colts at Heinz Field on a Sunday night football game, I do believe. No, we can't go to that game. Chris has finals for college. We can't go to that game. Chris has finals. He's got homework. And I said, okay, we're not going to go to that game. We'll go to the week after. It's a 3:30 game, the Steelers versus the Denver Broncos. The time was getting closer. The Steelers played that game against the Colts. They won, 45-10.
Yeah, they absolutely destroyed. We're like, we're about to see a loss.
Yeah, they destroyed. But we went to Pittsburgh. We saw great things. We went on the, forgive me, I want to go to Pittsburgh more. I can never say this name right. The Duquesne incline? I don't know what it's called.
You say the S? Is it the Duquesne?
The Duquesne incline.
I have no idea if that's right either, so don't slay me. But
I will take back the and someone can correct me, but we went on the incline, we went to Permati Bros, we got the whole experience, and then it was game time, baby. Versus the Broncos. We took the ferry over. The ferry is in the boat, not a June man. We took it over to the stadium. We're playing the Denver Broncos against Brock Osweiler. And the game starts. And the Steelers go down and they score a touchdown. The Broncos score a touchdown. And then another. And then another. And then a couple field goals. And now we're sitting at halftime, baby. And we're losing 27 to... What was the actual score? It was 27-10. We're losing 27.
I think it was 27-10.
We're losing 27-10 at halftime. I myself, in the urinals, thinking, God, why did we go to this game? We had the Colts game right there. What are we doing? What was your thought process at that time, Chris?
Well, I'll be quite honest with you. My thought process was, wow, I should never, ever step foot in Heinz Field ever again because I am bad luck for this team. We're facing Brock Osweiler, of all people. You know, the Brock. He's like, really good.
To be fair, the Broncos defense was number one that year.
Yeah, they were really good.
And they also won the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah,
And we also
that's true.
and we also could have beat them in the playoffs, but that's not what this story is about.
It's not about them or their season or
No.
what they did and accomplished. This is about the Pittsburgh Steelers
And
and a
what
little
we
boy's
saw
dream.
live.
Yes.
We saw live. And it was 27-10. Go ahead, Chris.
We are all sitting there kind of defeated, watching there. We're very superstitious, so we're like, maybe if we like cross our feet a certain way, or if I hold our terrible towels in one arm or whatever, something will change.
Does that help?
And
Does it help, actually? No, we know that. But it's not about that, baby. It's about the love of the game. Superstition's all part of it.
It is. So, the second half starts. And, we're watching the game. Things are playing. But then the Steelers did a little something. All right. They started gaining a little bit of traction. All right. And, I remember this specifically because there's, like Dom said, a lot of talk about the Broncos defense being number one. And I especially remember Dom raving about their cornerback, Chris Harris Jr.
Chris Harris.
Because he was locked down that dude was so good. I think at that point he didn't really allow a touchdown reception or something like that. It was crazy.
He had not allowed a touchdown. He had not allowed a 100-yard receiver. But guess who he's going up against?
AB.
The legend, the GOAT. This is pre psychopath AB. Pre chair throwing AB. Pre
rapper.
Pre rapper AB. This was prime time AB. GOAT AB. MVP conversation AB.
And Ben just went after him. He was like, AB, if we're coming back in this game, we got to do it. And my gosh, I've never seen the man fling the football so well, and it was a magical thing to see. It was like, we went down and he threw a touchdown to AB against Chris Harris. And I was like, wow, that's huge. That's awesome because that was the first time it happened to him this year. But we weren't done there.
And now it's 27-17. And we're, like Chris said, we're not done there. We're we're excited that happened, but man, we didn't stop Brock and the Broncos all first half. We just need to stop. We got one. We got to stop. They're punting the ball. We get the ball back. What do we do, Chris?
I believe we scored another touchdown.
We sure did, to the GOAT, Marcus Wheaton. A flat route. Turns up the field from the 5-yard line. We scored another touchdown. It is now 27-24. There's a field goal in there somewhere.
There was a field goal. There was definitely a field goal in there. I don't remember, but
it's 27-20. Who knows? 27-27? Sure, why not? Why not?
Actually, I think the field goal was at the very end, but that's beside the point. This was years ago. All right.
Okay. Let me tell you. It was 27-13 at half. That's where it came in. We got a field goal right before half. Okay, so now it's 27-20. Now it's 27-27. It's tied. It's a tie game.
And we're like, what the heck is going on? We're freaking out. And the fourth quarter's coming on. I can't remember if it was before or after. But I believe a little song came on and was played throughout the entire stadium. It was Renegade, and that was so electric. It was so cool because you always hear about it.
I've been here for my life. I thought they were going to join in. I love the Lord. Boom, boom, oh, boom, boom. Amen is coming down.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
And then I believe Shazier picked off Osweiler.
He sure did.
Was crazy, and we're like, wow, Shazier's the best. And then not only did AB get his one touchdown, but he had like what route did he run? It was
like a post.
Slick.
It split the defenders.
Yeah, and against Chris Harris again, and we get it in the back of the corner of the end zone. It was to our end of the end zone, right?
No, the first time he caught it was our end. That second time was Far side.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then we got up and we're like, holy crap, like we're actually winning. How do we come back from this game? It was the coolest thing ever. And we're like trying not to move in our stances because, like I said, we're very superstitious and we're like, we're not moving. You can't move. You can't go to the bathroom. You got to cross your leg like that. But we did it because we did it for our boys in the black and gold. We did it for the Steelers. And that's what you got to do when you're a fan.
And the defense did not let up a single point in that second half. And we won 34-27. Chris Harris didn't give up a touchdown or a 100-yard receiver. AB had 189 yards on 16 receptions and 2 touchdowns. Oh my. Boy went off. He went off that game. And let me tell you, there was moments, you may be a religious person, you may not be a religious person. I don't do this very often. God's got more important things to worry about in the world than a football game. But I remember looking up at the moon shining out of Heinz Field, thinking, God, I spent way too much money on this ticket. Please get us a win for our first game ever in Heinz Field. Please. Can't be the way this thing ends. And it turned out to be the best game, because it was live, maybe the best game I've ever seen, and a memory I will never, ever forget.
Dom, and I did a very similar thing. Instead of looking up to the sky and saying, God, why did we do this? I looked over to you as little beads of sweat were coming down my forehead, and I said, did I really ruin it for everyone else? Having finals the week before? We could have seen a blowout win against the Colts, but no, we come back and get absolutely destroyed by Denver Broncos? Nah, I'm glad I had finals, because that game was way better than what we would have experienced then.
That memory was and the intensity we all felt as a family rooting for them was so. I remember when Shazier got that pick, specifically when Shazier got that pick, I remember tearing. I remember I started like tearing up. I was like, oh my God, we're gonna do it. I remember tearing up. It was so good, and it's something I will always remember. And I got to see my blowout later. I went back to Heinz Field a couple years later in 2018 when they played the Panthers. And Ben had more touchdowns than incompletions. He had 5 touchdowns that blew him out of the water, 52-21. That was awesome. That was a fun game to watch, but nothing compared to that comeback that we witnessed live. That was incredible.
No.
And that's one of our most favorite memories, I think, of watching the Steelers. There's many more, and you know what? Maybe, Chris, we could do some more kind of throughout the summer.
Yeah,
what do you think about that?
I'm totally fine with that. Yeah, I was just going to say one more thing.
Yep.
Actually, 2 more things, if you don't mind. I'll make it really quick, I promise.
Oh, gosh.
As far as memory go, I really have to share this one because it's near and dear to my heart. There's no better memory than the game that we went to this year, being in Minnesota and sitting in our stands in the nosebleeds, watching Flo Rida perform while we're down 29-0. That was such a good memory of mine. He was singing Apple Bottom Jeans, and there I was with tears coming down my eyes, looking at the scoreboard, being like, damn. Why?
The crazy thing, the crazy thing, if it wasn't for a great Harrison Smith hit, if Pat Frymouth would have hung on to that ball, that would have been another crazy comeback we could have potentially saw. That would have been a crazy comeback. But you know what? It's not the way it rolled. Also, Chris and I've been to 4 Steeler games. Chris has been to 3. But I am undefeated at Heinz Field, but we're winless on the road. We saw them play Chicago in 2017, and the Steelers went 13-3 that year. That was one of their 3 losses, is the game we saw in Chicago. And then we saw them play the Vikings last year, which you got to. I mean, it's not really that fun going to an away stadium when you're just cheering for the Steelers. It really isn't that fun. Maybe you guys who are listening, if you would like to comment and write to us on Twitter saying how fun it is because you have a blast yelling at fans because you've actually seen them win on the road, that's great. Chris and I have not seen them win on the road. They've lost in embarrassing ways kind of both times, and it's not fun, but they come here every 8 years. We live here. We got to go. I'm going to go again. I'm going to go again when they're here. I'll be, decrepit, but I'm going. I'll be there. But that first Steelers game we went to live, the adrenaline afterwards. I remember just being like so so hype, but so tired at the same time from all the energy we exuded. But that was definitely one of our favorite moments. And there's plenty others that we got. But I think what we're gonna do, Chris, is we're gonna wrap it up right now, and we're gonna leave you guys. Maybe you can think about it at home, and we'd love to hear what your favorite student moment has been watching. Maybe you have a couple. That'd be great. And we'll talk to you guys next week. We'll see what's going on. I don't know, honestly, what is going to happen. I didn't think we'd have much to talk about, and the news kind of hit the fan last week, and kind of some stuff dropped today. So we'll see what's going on, man. And if nothing's going on, then we'll just kind of talk. We'll kind of hang out. I got some fun little ideas we can talk about. So
Very cool.
all right, man. We got anything else to say?
No, other than if we do share a memory again, I promise it will not be like a 12-minute long memory with a lot of ad-libbing. It was very enjoyable for us, but I'm sure you guys were like, dude, seriously, get on with it. I'm not here to listen about how your feet were positioned at a Steelers game. But you know what? F you. This is about us, all right? So this is our podcast. No, I'm kidding. But seriously, thank you guys for watching podcast. Wow, this is why
Watching with your ears. Watching with your ears.
Watching with your ears. Thank you for listening. Again, this is episode 11. We're super happy to be doing this, and please follow us on all socials. We're at Northern Steel Podcast. And we're just looking forward to interacting and keep this thing rolling. So
Here we go.
Here we go.
Doses.
All right, peace out.
Bye.